Hello friend, welcome back once again to Gary Grigsby's War in the East. Here we're turn 15 now, so yeah, things are starting to get quite interesting as we're getting very close to the winter. Now, I did talk last episode about how it would be possible technically to win on this turn by capturing both Leningrad and Rostov. I mean, it's not looking good. I'm not positioned yet to take them. I don't think these guys have the strength to do it by themselves. I think I would need more. And in Rostov, the fact that these guys retreated and I don't have at least 3 units around on all sides also gives me cause for concern. Let's just first deal with the air. So we actually have a clear weather turn, which is yeah, quite something. Except up in the north, but that shouldn't spoil the fun. Although technically there is very little I'd be wanting to do in the north. Even no recon is really required, and because we can already see everything. So let's continue on to the center. So last turn, I surrounded all of these. Soviets retreated from most of these places, which is really good for me. I'm quite happy at that. And I should be able to reorganize this a little bit to have it work in my favor as well. So me now having the airfields at Mozhaisk and Borodino. And how far are they? 30 and 48. Let's see if we can get Jagerschweder 27 there. We should, yeah. This resupplying thing only worked at the start. I really wonder why it doesn't work now, but it did work before. I mean, I'm not complaining here, but I do find that to be a bit weird. Well, if we do, I do have a rail line going there, and 2nd Panzer Group is closest to that, so I would feel like transporting these is probably a good idea, even though we don't have the rail line there yet as well. Just start getting my air fleets in place where I feel like they belong. For the immediate future. Seems like they're doing well on Vyazma. Jagerschweder 51 should also move up to Kursk now. Or do I want to send them to Orel? So I'm not close to getting the rail line at Orel yet. But another thing to think about is also what I'm trying to achieve. If I can Let's do it. And DSTG. It will stay there for the moment. Co-Luft 4. No real sense in moving them. Just like the Transportgruppe Mitte. There simply are not enough good airfields up front. Nah. Alright. That's that. Then, down in the south, this rail line has been yellow since a long time. 4th Flieger Corps is resting easily at Sevastopol for the moment. Obviously, I don't have any rail lines here yet. The Romanians... Well, let's transfer them already. They'll be out of supplies and stuff, but whatever. So, yeah, I wanted to have Jägerschwader 3 over here. You guys here. Together with Jägerschwader 52. Supplies here are not amazing. Let's take a look also at the rail, which has not been repaired both in Stalino and Gorlovka at this point. Alright. If I'm gonna move these, where would I move them? Not up yet, for the immediate moment. Let's actually send the 3rd Romanian armored, or Romanian Army Recon Group over here to Kerch. They, together with the 4th and the 2nd. Puts them in a potentially somewhat more favorable position. Same would apply for Jägerschwader 77, but I don't have any rail lines moving in there, so I don't really find that to be too useful. Now, by this point, I do have some reserves, etc., to potentially start pushing up, so I do feel like I want to do some recon out there. With Luft 6, they might already be able to do that. Over up in this position, no real reason to try it in any of those other locations, so. Over there. Let's just try not to fly too much over Russian territory. And I could then also swing potentially down from the side. Moving up here, I don't want to take anything anymore. Once I move into this area, I'm done. like, I don't want to move forward anymore. So the only thing that I still need to do is get to dig in along the Oskol and along this river here, and that's it. That's where I want to stop. So I would also have to do some recon there, but with some other units, with some other air group. Trying to do that as fast as possible. Massive clicking. Area 3. How many are you going to use? All are 6. Let's turn it down to 4. We're flying 3 days. So that should be okay. I don't need any escorts. There we are. Alright. That's one recon. Secondly, I actually think under the current conditions, I also actually want STG-2 to use a ground support air directive for the 4th Panzer Group. Our group south, sorry, 1st Panzer Group, that is. There's STG-2 and also the nearby Jägerschweder, if I can find them. Jägerschweder 52, that would be. And since it's good weather, I kind of need them around here, so. This is the first time since very long that I've actually decided that, yeah, I do need that ground support. Let's see if it activates. Then I need Koloft Center. Yeah, I need some more recon. So I actually need to remove those air directives. This is from. Did I just remove the recon air directive? Yes, I did. Okay, let's redo that. This system is sometimes still a little bit counterintuitive to me. That's funny. They're choosing a different route, but no, then they again immediately switch the entire air route. That's a bloody shame. Like I said, let's try not to fly over our territory. Okay. So we did that. Let's now do the recon and air fleet 2. And I want that recon to be in this area. 3, bam, bam, bam. I want Koloft Center to do it. I guess they're gonna fly to Kursk first. I'd be mighty surprised if they pull that off, but whatever. Alright, there's that. Then the question remains, do I want to do it anywhere else? Not really. I can move into these light woods here and the airfield. It's okay, but I probably don't need any additional recon, so let's just run the air phase here. Yep. All right. They... It would surprise me if they did not have any units there, but okay. Whatever. All right. My main problem... Well, you guys are getting supplies from here. But I would think that this is the worst region. Yeah. I know this seems terrible, but I really need to get those supplies up and running here. The distance between this and this is much further ultimately than this to this. And since we do have a depot here, it can also move around to that area. So I guess ultimately it might be better to just do that. One thing I'm a bit sad about is that these guys will be escaping, unless technically I would be doing... No, they will always be escaping. Alright. Let's just start in here. There is nothing in here anymore. Just want to make sure that everything here is okay. We have this Romanian Armored Brigade, which I need to put under any of these other... Let's put them under the 3rd Romanian Corps, although I'll probably just let them rest. 3rd Romanian. And these additional cavalry brigades, etc., should also not have any additional units under them. So I really just want to go and take a look, as well as... Yeah, okay, and at the core type level... Good, okay. And the same has to apply for these guys. I know it's a bit of an issue, but now that more and more of my army becomes static, it means that I'll also put more attention to things like that. So next up would be these units around here, which are all part of the 2nd Corps, which also needs to have nothing under it except 4. It's few units. How's the Army Group Antonescu? They have a lot of real Romanian construction battalions, which I actually want to send at the 3rd Romanian Army. Actually, let's send them to the 4th. With a little bit of luck, they'll work on this rail. These guys are currently constructing somewhere. Which, here and here, where they're doing some job, but I would say barely matters. So let's put the remainder under the 4th. If I can here. Alright, it is the 4th Romanian Army, right? I'm starting to doubt myself. Yep. Alright. The way of having to do this is a bit weird, because now it automatically switches to the 4th and removes Army Group Antonescu, so I continuously have to go back to it. It's kind of weird. Alright, there we go. Next up, I have the 54th Corps, which actually, at the moment, should not be having any road construction battalions. It should probably also hand out some of these heavy artillery pieces. So, Let's send those heavy siege mortar batteries, which are the 600mm Carl siege mortars, over to Army Group South, and then I'll see where I'm going to redistribute those. I'm also going to remove a few of those super heavy howitzers and just put them in Army Group South for now. And I'll see however I'm going to redistribute those. I'm going to leave these guys on assault mode for one more turn until I've captured Rostov. And I'll redistribute the forces afterwards. Let's send the road construction battalions. Well, how far can you move? So, let's see. Because, for example, the 51st Corps has none, whereas it is already starting to dig in. So let's actually take the 51st, move it all the way up to Gorlovka, put those construction units under the 51st, so they can start digging in a little bit better. Because I really need that to quickly ramp up. They can leave the artillery and the anti-aircraft. Ideally, they would also get some engineers, but I do believe that these units still have those engineers attached, most likely. So I'll have to dispatch them as well. Should have done that earlier, but better late than never. Okay. With clear weather, I can just move straight up without too many restrictions as well. Sweet. How about this Mounted Romanian Corps? They do have only 2 machine gun battalions, no additional support. That is really noteworthy. So we'll leave it at that. And just primarily move them along this side for now. Do I have any additional Romanian units down here that need moving? Yes, we do. We also have nothing else, right? Yeah. I don't need those to become city forts at all. And there are no additional units that will activate during this turn out here. Let's just immediately check for German units as well. None. Okay. That's fine. Alright. So now we're gonna get into some of the serious work. Let's take a look here first. So they have a road construction battalion. What are you doing? I wonder. At this point, though, the Mobile Hungarian Corps is 4. But I think, yeah, it's the 8th. Let's just put them under the Hungarian High Command. Oh, it matters for 1 even, huh? That's not particularly important, but still. Okay. So I would say for example, first, these guys don't have any construction battalions, so I would have to take a look at these, for example, the 3rd. They also don't have any. How's the 4th doing? They also have only artillery. Okay, because if they did, then I would have sent it there. 3rd Romanian Army has some pioneer battalions, and whoa, okay. Seems like I completely botched on dividing those. Let's take a look. These guys could probably benefit most from getting the pioneers, since they're going to assault Rostov. So let's send it there. Let's, for the moment, keep those, because I'm gonna give them more based on when they're going to assault that city. Although... let's switch this up a bit, because the 5th Romanian is a lot weaker than the 1st Guards. Even after moving, most likely. Yes, it is. So, I'll replace those. I'm not gonna attack Rostov this turn, though. That's not what is my intention. This really looked like a hat from the KKK. I'm just sorry, that's just the first thing that I saw. It's the hat of the KKK. Anyway, 3rd Romanian Corps. Where's that army? Here we go. Are you close enough? Yeah, but these guys can probably get closer. So I will put them closer indeed, but either way. Let's send at least these 2 under the 3rd Corps. Can you do that? No, you're too far. Alright, well, let's move them now then. 3rd Romanian Corps, wow. There we go. They have 4 machine gun battalions, whereas the 4th Romanian Corps has only 2. And the Cavalry Romanian Corps has 0. It's funny because the Cavalry Romanian Corps has a lot of infantry as well. Anyway, it does mean that if I am going to divide them, I would be giving at least 3 to the Cav and 2 to the 4th. Alright. Now we still have 2 artillery. Let's take a look. You guys have currently no artillery? What the heck? I mean, these guys don't have any artillery either. Wow. Well, let's send at least 1 from you to the 3rd, and probably a 2nd too. Because I'll also be giving a regular 1 to the 3rd, so now both of those have 3 artillery. Hey. What just happened? Where did I send it to? Did I accidentally send it? Oh, I accidentally sent it to the army. Okay, well, the Cavalry Romanian Corps will have to wait then. Because these guys only have 1, that means that I will send it to these 2 to the 3rd. What kind of artillery is it? 105? And what is the other heavy howitzer? 149? Yeah. Well, that's okay. I want the weaker ones actually at the calf, so. And then later on I can send the heavy howitzers At least the other heavy howitzer to this Romanian corps. Yeah. Okay, and let's move these guys into study now. Fair enough. 11th Army itself has some construction battalions under its belt. I still... Well, this corps has 4 now. Quite a few of these will probably also start digging in. They have 4 construction. It really does beg to look at some of this. I also need to readjust this. So, first of all, for example, for the 4th Corps, I need to put you underneath. I know I'm doing most of the reorganization now, but I just feel like I don't want to mess this up. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 for the moment. Probably jumping back. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I'll also redistribute some of these other ones. So this corps now, for example, how? Okay, so the 6th Army can no longer take any additional troops. How? Okay, you have 4 construction battalions already, so that is good at least. Let's keep it that way. I actually want you under the 51st Corps. And I want to actually move that infantry. Because I actually want the weaker ones to already start digging in here. Whereas I want you under the 52nd. And Kurt von Briesen, he's not the best. How's this guy? Elmdinger, yeah, he has 7, so my units would be performing better on the attack with him. That's fine, though. So, now... this light division is in no shape to do anything. And it has to refit. I'm gonna put them out in here, which is the best spot for it anyhow. And I already want to move out the 57th to move further towards the east. And really get those weaker ones to already start digging in, those weak units. Now, these are very weak parts of the motorized unit. What I'm gonna do... Let's get them in there. Just weaken them a little bit. They have 14. Wow. There we go. Rather use the cavalry there to clear them out. Okay. My biggest concern is this unit and the depot, which is on that actual hex. And let's actually give 2 more construction battalions to the 51st. One thing that I think I'll have to see how I'm gonna plug that, but for the moment, moving forward and doing that is probably a good idea. Unfortunately, you cannot move and do an attack out here, except by moving down. Undoubtedly, I need to do a heavy attack on those. Or I can do a soft attack with 3 units. That should do the trick as well, I think, with a power of 20 into an 8 defense. I might just be able to make it. With the important thing here being the destruction of their depot. Okay. Oh, that's very, very kind of you. You could technically move down, but I would have you in here. Trying to push these is probably not going to work, not at this stage. And since I don't really have that much of a powerful attack against them, I don't really see how that works either for the moment. I could try to clear these while it's good weather. But then again, that does take infantry away from those things which I think are quite critical. How weak are you at this point? You're just a 1? Oof. Okay, so let's get out the motorized. At least this is a 3 now, together with the infantry. Most certainly not ideal still. But no, at least that also allows for something. I need this to be beefed up. In order to beat them from this side of the river. They cannot move any further, but it's still... will help. I would say everything is set for an attack on the next turn. At least in there. These hexes are quite tricky. None of my units can go into this hex. One thing I will most certainly do, though, is that. Now, most certainly okay, yeah, they don't have any more movement, so then they cannot do that. Want to make surrender them and move into this hex with both of them. It's very weak, but the purpose, at least for this turn, is to make sure that they cannot get onto this side of the Dawn in as many places as possible. And that can be quite tricky. But at least they don't have any depots on this side of the river anymore. Third motorized corps. I should at least make sure that my units are in supply. Gonna need to think something for that one. I'm actually gonna give all of these labor groups over to the 1st Panzer Group. Since it doesn't really seem to be working under Otto Desloch, despite his good administration. Which is 7. Yeah, I do think that should be fine, but I guess it isn't. The next thing I want to do is take a look at all the units around here and any regular infantry under 10,000. Oh wow. Should get a refit. That's under 10,000. Same for things like the motorized. They're at 51. So for the Panzer divisions, that means for each individual piece. Yeah, I'm just inclined to have them almost automatically on a refit, especially this one, obviously. But for infantry, I think 10,000 at the moment should be the norm. Although there are some units with less than 10,000 which are actually doing significantly better. Mm, 3,400 would suggest that they would get over 10,000. No, not actually, because some of them are below. The Croatian unit does not have to be on refit. Alright, so that leaves the Donbass for the moment. Except that 17 army, yeah, these guys still have some heavy flak. Okay. Let's send them to the 51st. And let's also send those to the 52nd if I can. At least 2. And then another one. Let's send another one to the Italians. So the Italians have a German construction battalion now, but the Italians are doing pretty well so far. They're already at fort level 1. Might not seem amazing, but sure it is. In this case, the Mountain Corps has most of them, whereas actually the 11th needs to have most of those construction battalions. The 30th will very likely come into play again during the reorganization that we'll have to do. So I'm just bringing them up once I remove assault status from these guys, probably next turn if I take Rostov. Then at that point yeah, that's not a good idea. Yeah, I'll be using those guys again, but at least for the moment. I want to move these to the 11th. And actually just keep one construction battalion there. Yeah, this is all the heavy howitzers. Yeah. All right. That's just one part of the front. Let's move all the way up north for the other extreme. And again, I do think actually that taking care of these flanks is the easier part first, as crazy as it sounds. It sounds weird, but I'll just stick with the depot at Pino for now. I really want these guys to start moving up towards Leningrad to start getting supplies all the way up there. And so I'm quite inclined to do this. Let's start preparing for an attack on Leningrad. So I actually did say before that I actually don't really care if these guys move down and take some territory out there. That's fine. Let's take Leningrad. And there we go. Let's take a look at their supports. That's fine. So I'll be assaulting Leningrad on the next turn. Now, Sixth Panzer. It's gonna get sent. Let's wait for a second. I can do that at the latest. Don't need to do it earlier. This is a swamp hack, so the thing is, though, that I basically want access to this rail line, and after that I'm kind of done. The important thing here, though, is Bologu, which is a great name. Alright then. I don't suspect this unit to go on a route. If I attack it, and even if it did, doesn't really matter that much. These guys have a lot of construction battalions, but since they are still moving, I actually don't really care. The units that do need a lot of it, though, is the second corps. This motorized corps doesn't need any. In reality, I think. Let's take a look, though, what you have. You just have these panzer divisions. And those. So first of all, the second corps currently has a decent amount, but I actually want these guys to give them more. Well, you guys need a lot too. 3, 6, 40 motorized. You also have 3, 6, so let's give 1 to each at least. Over. Let's put you under the... Let's remove these, by the way. Under the OKH. You'll probably move out. I really think the second corps should be able to dig in quite nicely now. Huh. Let's see if it retreats with this. I might actually not need this motorized unit here. I'll take them away once an opportunity arises. But these guys are definitely just gonna stay there. Start digging in. I don't like this swamp axe. If I have the opportunity to go around, I will. But defeating this mechanized plus rifle division is just straight up impossible at this point. Let's move you up, though. Now, neither of these are actually digging in at this point. Neither is the 9th. So they don't really need most of their construction battalions yet. At least not necessarily. Let's see if I have some units under the 4th Panzer Group. No, that is not the case. And then the 16th Army has a couple of construction battalions that I actually, and some other stuff, which I should probably remove. You see, there is actually no reason for me to take that. And I'd actually much rather start moving Politsai. Like, who cares about this island? They have no units in there. And even if they did, I'd spot it immediately. This has 0 manpower. So I really just need these guys up at the front. I mean, having that infantry up the front is much more important than what they're doing now. Okay. Fine. It's this unit that's a problem now. Huh. If I can get regular infantry into those hexes, that is definitely the best outcome. If anything, I need the 10th Corps to gain a lot of those construction units. So let's actually put these under the 9th Army, because I probably cannot get them all the way to the 10th Corps. That would be a bit silly. They also need support units. Let's actually first shift off those construction battalions from the 20th over to the 10th. And also give them 3 artillery. This way I can send both of these to the 9th Army. And all the flak as well. Of the SS Politsai Infantry Division, which will be put under some command on the next turn. Then I'm doing a lot of reorganizational work, but that is also quite necessary. Goodbye. Yep. That took a lot of movement and other stuff, but that's fine. Okay, this will require a bit more work, obviously. It's messed up at the moment. So I'm gonna need to take care of some other stuff first. Actually, I think this will probably be the last parts for me to deal with. Alright, I'll move and get probably all the way to Istra. And I guess that will be the final depot in the center there. For now. If anything, I actually kind of need to do that regardless, so I can keep working on this rail line. And they're making good progress now, due to this good weather turn. Getting all the way into Orel almost. Not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad. For a second, I was afraid I would not make it there. You see, I could spend a turn, yeah. Ooh, they can even go back. Wow. That's really good. One other thing that's also really good is getting that cavalry out. And I think I'm willing to sacrifice some panzers. Ah, just only 15. There's a separate tank regiment in there. Wow. Oh man, sometimes this game can be harsh. Anyway. Let's get those tanks up at the front. It means that at least I have this part of the defensive line now. The frontal area. Man, 15 panzers. That's a rough grab. What's also rough is that I actually have to put this third panzer is already overburdened. Just like 4th Army, but I already have practically only armored units in there. Might seem like overkill, but I sure don't feel like it is. Especially because these guys are in woods. Now you get something like this, so... Seems like they have another unit in here. Which I guess then needs to be eradicated. feel like I need to switch some units over to this side as well, like this. I mean, this is already not amazing. Nothing at least, but not to mention this is like wide open. Of course, the problem is that I just straight up have too little infantry. I'll move it one more hex, but that is besides the point. If I move you in here, that will allow me to move the Leibstandarte out. Which is most likely gonna go around through that way instead of there. But I would have to clear this out first to see whether the movement is going to be good enough, which I'm sure it is, but I'll have to see about that. Yeah. I'm in need of a little water break though, so I mean those making one episode per turn is nice and all, but I don't know, I don't have the stamina to keep playing like continuously for hours and hours. Even like after an hour I'm like I need a little break here, because this is getting pretty intense and taxing. It generally is quite taxing. I do find though that we're really starting to get things together somewhat. I actually don't like how weak they are, so I'll assign them some Stugs. Might help them a little bit. They did go from 2 to 3, so yeah. This is still not a very neat front line here, but I'm not gonna push in further. Definitely not. Alright. I'm taking a little bit of a break here. Okay, so we still have quite a bit of ways to go here. Let's continue now. First of all, I need to get rid of these units. And I'll be using the rear units for that. I get rid of them. And problem though is that they're part of this core. Let's for the moment put those guys in the 44th. So that they have a bit of a better chance of actually making this attack here. And they did. I'm sure that after these guys are gone, they can move into that hex. Problem, of course, is actually getting those guys removed. Ooh. Both of these are under the 4th, whereas they should at least... Yeah, they shouldn't be. How to get rid of them. These are at 3, which means they're a bit more difficult to deal with. Let's try to beef them up a bit. So they might be able to push them away with a soft attack. Okay. I'll remove them on the next turn. Certainly should be making good use of this this turn. However, which way possible, so. At least that is going reasonably well so far. Moving in there. I do need a unit in there. And to be frank, at some point, a quite powerful one at that too. For now though, let's move in the Leibstandarte. And just leave them there at the moment. These should be fine. There's still, 16,000 Hungarians. And these guys should by then be encircled. I could potentially split them. But not so sure whether I do want to. We'll see. Now that man, I'm having some throat issues here. Now that I got this dealt with, let's just deal with the other side too. I actually need to beat all three of these before I get to potentially move. Let's work on them first to get them to rout. Okay. Well, this is actually quite interesting. The fact that they can move up there is pretty good. Currently you only have 2. I'm probably going to change that, but I need the 4th army to move up this way, so however which way they move, they're always going to move through Orel, so let's do that. And put the final unit on there. These are part of the 2nd Army. So there's still the 232nd, so we'll move up in there. And that kind of suggests that I have all of those now. None of these can actually move up to those locations. I know I'm also short on infantry, etc. here too, though. But since I need to move over to this location, like either way, I'm gonna have to put a unit in here. And then in a bit, some of these guys can still move up there. I'll leave 1 infantry over there for the moment. These are both armored units. I'm actually inclined to put motorized units into these two locations, but I also need to use motorized units to attack, so... One thing that's interesting is that you can move up. And currently just a retreat, huh? That's really bad for me, I'm afraid. Still, let's get another one over here. They probably have a lot of damaged units. Yeah, quite a lot. Still need to beat this 2 strength. I really had hoped not to have to use... tank divisions. But maybe I don't have to. Very nice. What's not so nice, though, is this security unit. But I'm afraid that because it didn't... come on. Because it didn't just... I'm gonna lose so many tanks from this. Alright, here we go. Only 38. That's nothing, right? Oops. Ah, come on. You cannot even get there. What do they have there anyhow? Just a rifle? Oh, they cannot make it, apparently. I mean, technically it's an encirclement. I'm not not very optimistic about its chances to hold. But it's something. Now, the one thing I want to do here, though, is actually move you back into Kursk. I want to get my more powerful units to start moving in on the flanks here. So... I need these units already to start moving around. I don't really care if they move forward, as long as they don't take Kursk itself. But the goal is to quickly get around them so I can form an actual defensive line that is actually meaningful. I will not allow them to take Oboyan though. So I'll keep some form of defense on that side, but you know, I'd say it hardly constitutes anything. What I'll do for the moment as well is try to beef up units such as these. Since they're looking to do real poorly out there, I need them to be a bit more powerful. Right. I mean, it is something. Still like maybe a good 60 to 70k if I can hold that. Unlikely though with these guys around, but I can repocket. I'll lose some more tanks, but maybe we'll have some tanks in reserve. So let's actually take a look, because take a look at just Germany. And we're gonna go and take a look at the tanks. You know, we have quite a bit of tanks in the pool. T-38, Panzer 3J, Panzer 4S. We can take some replacements. You know, we got some. And we don't need to use these Panzer 30, like these French units. We don't necessarily... what is this? Is the... Is this a no, it's not a Matilda. It's hard to see from the picture. I mean, these are so Mua tanks. Renaults. Hotchkiss. Chars, but it's A13. Are they cruisers or something? Flampanzer Battalion. Okay. Well, never mind. I also even have some French anti-tank guns, huh? That's quite harsh, though. French char Flampanzers. That's pretty rough. Didn't actually think that we actually used Tauchpanzers, the amphibious tanks. Huh. Alright. Are we actually using... Holy smokes, there are a lot of units that are using the Panzer ones. They only have 2 left. Well, I get it. Alright, so... let's make sure as many of these as possible are in supply. 5. So you can go here. Let's move the 3rd Panzer into Kursk and keep them on the refit. Should also allow me to move in a little bit closer. Let's take how we are at 2nd Panzer. So 2nd Panzer is not overburdened. That's nice. I would actually be inclined to put this motorized corps under 2nd Panzer Group for the moment. Because that means, yeah, they are overburdened right now, but I'm going to take off a few of these units, or at least these ones. The 3rd Motorized Corps is apparently also exceptionally overburdened, so we need to switch. First of all, the 29th Corps, which can still take some. Like over here. That already helps the Motorized Corps. They're still in infantry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 111th under the 34th Corps. 1st Panzer Group is by far not overburdened either. So actually what I need to do is put you under the 31st, 4th. And put you under the 34th for now as well. Is this to symbolize that they're always retreating? Like they're going to the west? Anyway, this guy's no good for combat. He has only 5 infantry. But for the moment, it will suffice to, at the very least... unburden some of these other units. Now these guys don't have any support, so they're not gonna dig in very fast either. but I just kind of need this. They're still overburdened by a slight amount, but it's not so bad anymore. What are you part of? This corps. You're still at 16, mostly because these are extended, and there are these panzers. Okay, so all these panzers need to be put under the 3rd Motorized Corps, because they're not going to get a whole lot from this. Even if that corps is overburdened right now... it's still better than anything. Now, these guys are very likely to go and get routed if I don't at least try to give them something. It probably doesn't help by much, but it's a little bit. Okay, so now you're only at 13, which is already much better. So once these guys join back together, they're gonna be okay. Now the 6th Army is already overburdened. Let's just keep them in there for a turn, and they might actually take up some positions there. Just have 1 gun battalion. Let's see though. 4th Corps could use some construction battalions for the moment, because they're already gonna dig in. But these guys actually do have 2 units on the line already. You have 1. What I can do though is put you under the 44th. And you as well, so... and you. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're at 6 out of 9. The 17th. So you're good for now. You aren't. What I'll do just leave it like this for now, but then at least they have 3 construction battalions, they have 5. Let's give them to the 34th. 3 at least. 44th, I mean. And the other to the 4th Corps, so they can already dig in a little bit harder. They actually have a Hungarian engineer battalion, which needs to be put in Mobile Hungarian Corps. I actually just mixed that up accidentally. Just passing around. You have 4 flak. No flak. 4 flak. Okay. Let's give the machine gun battalion over to the 4th as well. Sixth Army has nothing else, so we've actually divided that quite nicely for this turn, I think. Second Panzer Group still has a gun battalion to dish out. Let's give it to the 46th motorized if I can. No, they're probably too far. Let's just leave things be for now. So as for these, I actually want you under the 13th. Sure, let's keep that for this turn. And you under the 35th. Both of these are already digging in. This one, not so much. But they also don't have anything extra. You neither. It's a problem. You have 4 construction battalions. Second Army has quite a few, so let's dish them out. At least the 35th Corps. Five will do for now. And then the 13th. We'll also get one. And I will probably have to move these and back. So they have 26. They can go up till 13. Need to give the rest to the 55th. Let's just go here. Oh, really? Funny that these actually they're in some areas. Like here. And there. Now let's send them. I still can't. Guess they're too far away for now. This is a bit silly. But the other 3 are already overburdened, so let's do this a bit differently. First of all, I will have the 9th Corps. For these 2. Let's do a 3 actually. Okay. divide some of this stuff. Yeah, so you can switch, right? Yeah. Okay, so you're also under the knife. Then I need this score to move up. That's the 43rd. For you, you, and you. You're gonna give away one of these, one of these. There we go. And you're also overburdened, so let's go and take 3 more units for the 7th. And now these are also okay. Excellent. It also means that having the 4th Army HQ down there is a bit weird. Let's move them to Durovo. Or not. Let's move them to Kirov. Okay, well. Not too shabby, I would say. At least not necessarily. That deals with the Army Group Center. Army Group South can actually take 24. And I know that 6th Army is more, but I'm going to move you guys back to South. That means that South is now overburdened and Center no longer. Well, if I can put 1 or 2 units into Army Group Center, I'm sure I can figure things out. Anyway, they have a heavy warfare. Let's send that to 4th Army. Where's the supposed 53rd Corps? Really no reason to have them under that. I still have to get used to the fact that I actually have the OKH at Minsk. It is very strange. Yeah, so only a Panzer group is left. Now that we have a rail depot at Rzhev, I feel like moving 9th Army there. 9th Army actually has a lot of stuff already. Huh. Well, let's start with getting that construction battalion out of Korsun. And let's start by moving all of the remainder of the construction battalions over to the 10th Corps. Guess not you. You could use with, let's see, you have 4 artillery but no engineers. Are they on AA? They need 4 and they need at least 2. Two, 3, 4. That's 3rd Panzer Group. They also have a bunch of construction battalions. They're no longer an assault. Is the Army Group North overburdened? Yes, it is by 4. Well, there's nothing to be done if I don't have any units in assault mode, but for the winter, just kinda have to. Okay, well, I have 3 motorized corps. All of them, except the bottom one, is doing quite poorly. Let's start by putting these guys under the 14th. And it puts them at 9. 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, this also is not ideal, but it kind of works. Kind of. They have absolutely no support units. Oh. Okay. That means everything is going in there. How about these other 2? You have some. You have most. Let's just put these under the 3rd Panzer Group for the moment, because I do feel like they also can benefit more from it. And both of these should be locked. Just like this one. No. Are we on the Army Group Center and OKH? OKH has none. And the Army Group Center has none. Let's look at the reserve for a bit. These are all ready now. I also have a few units, so let's actually take a look at the Balkans. We're not 100% there. So let's send the Werfer to the Balkans. Italy is okay. Africa's okay. Garrison is good. Finland, okay. Okay. Fine. So I'll send all of these to the map. I actually got them on the map before, but they kept being in unready status, so then I kind of have to send them back, and now they're okay. It's just kind of weird, but oh well. Except for this Marine Flag Battalion, which cannot be sent. Okay. You're at 99 out of 100. Okay, that's pretty good. I know they'll be overburdened. Yeah. I actually need another motorized corps over there, and I guess I'll send it. How are you? Marginal. I'm taking a look whether I have any better ones. Let's take a look at him. Like, Limousin is better. Yeah, so we'll make use of him on the next turn. Kinda sucks, but I need to move these to a safe position. that's gonna be it. I'm just taking a look at that's gonna be it. I do want to push those up front. And there are certain depots that do need to push the supply. And some that don't. Like these two depots are, or these depots are pretty important. The one at Corson at this point isn't. So I don't actually want them to store it there. And I'll put a depot here because I want them to start railing it through here and then this way too, since that might unburden a little bit this part. Yep. Every single time well, at the start I didn't fear those Soviet turns that much, but this time I'm definitely holding my breath. Every single time. There'll probably, after this turn, there'll be a lot of rain again. This really must be like an incidental rain torrent. Not sure whether those defenses were there before. I wonder if units start getting higher levels at the start of the turn or at the end of your turn. I think at the start of a turn. I still also need to take those 2 hexes. Should have started putting those fortification units there. Damn it. Let's keep forgetting stuff. Why do they have Baltic Fleet Air Command over here? That's super weird. What? Oh, gee. Doing this stuff in this weather is not good. Moved a bunch of units out there, actually. Alright, good. Still holding. Holy smokes. Hold. Yeah, this should be fine. I like that they're attacking with these, though. Hold, please. They're attacking across the river. That should at least help me some. How come their losses are so small? Except in the tanks. Hold. I really need this to hold. Yeah. What a surprise. 0. They went down to 0. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Hold. Wow. Sure, they'll be moving this tank out again. Oh, I clicked accidentally. I'm not too surprised though that they routed this Romanian unit. I mean, those Romanian units are super weak even like this, and if they put 3 units in there attacking, I'm not surprised. Seems like this rail line is doing terrible. Wow. Really? The heck? Okay, they need to be reinforced if they don't move in there. I hope they can't. Seems like they can't. At least it would allow me to keep that position. I lost a bunch of tanks too. They still have a bunch of double rails, like it's at the front here. Quite a lot of them actually. Alright, there we are. Forming reserve line. I'm actually not too happy with these turns at this stage. Alright, now we'll have to wait for 10 minutes. Going through the supply phase here. They're gonna have to ship it from city to city, etc., etc. It's gonna take 5 years. So for this turn in the center, I'm really looking to also take this Kubinka area. At that point, at least on the road to Moscow itself, there are no more heavy woods. I'm still hoping to take those heavy woods in the south, so that if I can make a potential push towards Moscow, then yeah, I can use this open terrain. The thing with Moscow as well is that if I can capture Moscow at any time before like midsummer 1942, while I retain my other positions, that pretty much becomes an auto win at this point. Because it's 66 points, and I'm quite sure I'm gonna be able to get up to 700 at least within the next 2 turns, because taking both Kharkov, taking both Rostov and Leningrad does get me over 700. So if I had been able to take those last turn, that would have been an automatic victory. But if I take them now, I'm like 1 turn short. So that's a bit sad, I guess, but seems like it's raining in some parts up there again. Let's take a look. So this held, obviously. Well, I say obviously, but yeah, it held. So we can start digging in there, and it seems like they might have a unit here, but at least here, and here they don't. So that would be the last unit then that we would need to kick out, together with Rostov, which would secure this position. Yeah, these guys still encircled. I'm gonna have to take care of that. They gave me this hex, which is something. Something else that's actually pretty interesting is that these guys are pretty weak. I know this is level 2 fortification, but if I can take a look at this area, I might... Like, it's a pretty far stretch, but making an encirclement in here, I would need to kick down all 3 of these and then push in towards Sepukov. They seem to have abandoned some significant territory in this area, though. This is just unbelievable. I'm gonna need some serious reinforcements on these guys. They're down to 200, okay, or 2,000. I mean, Leningrad is guaranteed to fall, but I quickly need to take care of this too. Access reaches the Sphere River. Finnish forces take Petrozavodsk and take up defense positions on the Sphere River. There is Soviet partisans. The first Moscow Conference. The first Moscow Conference took place from September 29th to October the 1st, 1941. William Averill Harriman, representing the UK, and Lord Beaverbrook, representing the UK, met with Joseph Stalin in Moscow. The discussions involved the promise of aid and support by the Allies to the Soviet Union in a common fight against Nazi Germany. Based on conference agreements for the period of October 1941 through June 1942, the USA and Great Britain would provide monthly deliveries to the USSR of 400 airplanes, 500 tanks, anti-aircraft and anti-tank guns, motor vehicles, aluminium, and other metals. In return, the USSR promised deliveries to the Americans and British of large quantities of raw materials needed for war production. Yeah, that's not good. But the Russians do have a shortage of forces in the northern front. Which has negative political costs. Okay. So be it. Victory points 949. Of course, we have initiative. High watermark is 949. This turn, it went up to 750. So sad. Total men. Guns. At least it's going down. Somewhat. Total AFVs. They moved back up there. Aircraft. Now they have 9 planes more. Alright. Alright. AFVs. Aircraft. Combat. Flight losses. How is our fuel doing? We're down from 4,000 K to 2.8. In not even half a year. If we're looking at our oil stores, they are pretty much the same. But it doesn't matter if we cannot turn the oil into fuel. Because it's fuel that I need and not the raw oil. And I believe that was also one of the biggest problems for Germany. It's getting the raw oil. Or it's not getting oil necessarily, although they also had a shortage of oil. But they couldn't process all the oil that they had into fuel. And they needed the fuel. Anyway, at least how's the digging in going, especially amongst those units that were supposed to go and dig in. Some of these are already getting close at least to level 1, some of them. Oh, I did, what? Oh, I have to move on further? Oh, geez, I did not even see that. I didn't take the entire river? Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I do find it interesting there's good weather again. Taking up these heavy woods allows me to shorten my line a bit. If I take these two, I'm shortening it again. It might also be for the better since it allows them one less opportunity to attack. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna ponder everything stoically in awaiting the next episode. I want to thank you for watching for now. Do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. See you then. Bye-bye.